In this video, what I want to do is show you some of the easy ways to search for things in your Xcode project. And I'm using the Parliament app to do this mainly because it's a significant app that has a lot of code in it. And so it's something that's not trivial. So we can really show off the power of how we can search. So first of all, if we look over here on the left, these are all of the different Swift files that make up the Parliament app. And one of the things I might want to do is say, well, I know that I have a classroom file, or it has the word classroom in the file name. And I want to just filter down to those and then pick which one I want to look at. So you can go right down here to the bottom. And when you come down here to the bottom in this filter area, you can just type in, for example, if I typed in class, we can see that all of the files show up that have the word class in the name. So that's a really nice, quick, easy way to filter down to something. And then I could click on that file and boom, I am into that particular file. Now, another way to search is to say, well, I know that, for example, I have a submit button, and that submit button is put between quotes, and it's spelled out as submit, and I want to find that. Well, that's text that's inside some file here. So we can click over here, and we can say Shift-Command-F, and that will bring up our ability to search text across all the different files in our system. So I could type in quote submit, and notice it's saying it's ignoring case, but I could click on this and say match case, but let's leave it as ignoring and hit enter. And sure enough, it found two different files in the system that have that in it. One of them is this student picker view, where if I click here, it takes me right to that code and right to that spot where it is. And over here, this is the other one, which takes me to that. So that's a nice, easy way to search text. And we'll just click out of that. And we'll come back here to our folder. And we'll get rid of our filter here. And we're back to all of our files again. So now let's suppose that we wanted to, I'm going to turn the canvas off here. Let's suppose that we wanted to find, for example, if we look in, let's pick something more interesting. I'm going to come down here to course. And in here, this is basically not a UI component. This is a struct. Don't worry if you haven't covered any of this yet. This is just to show you some quick things you can do in Xcode. But basically, we have a bunch of different methods in here. And up here, when we're in this file, right up here, right under the name, we can click on course, and we can see a bunch of different things that it's showing. So it's saying here all these things with a P on it are implying that those are properties. So those are properties defined over here. And then anything with an M is showing that these are methods. And then another thing that we can do is we can do struct extensions or class extensions. So this is just indicating there is an extension, and there's a property and a method within the extension. So let's say I wanted to go to the save method. I can just click on save, and sure enough, it highlights it right there. Let's do something that's not right in front of us. Let's say this particular get. When I click on that get, there it is. I've taken it. It's taken me right to that particular method. So that's another cool way to get to methods within a file. Now let's suppose that we wanted to find this get course store kit IDs, this particular method, but we weren't anywhere close to it. So I'm going to come out here. I'm going to click a different file completely. There is something called basically quick open. And what this allows us to do is to open to a file or to a spot where we can immediately open to it, and it's semantically correct. In other words, it's not just searching text, but it's actually looking at the structure of our code and picking something out. Get course store kit IDs, which is right here. And now if I click on that, boom, it takes me right to it. So that's another great way to search for something that is semantically rich in the context of our code, which means the compiler understands it, and it can take us right to it. Now, another thing we can do is say, well, there's something called pick subject area. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say pick subject area. And you'll notice that based on the icon, it's saying that this is actually a file. And so we could click on that and it would take us right to that particular file. So that's easy ways to search through Xcode.